I'm
you,
just going to
Douglas.
test this mic, and it's working so great. It's just working great. Hi.
Hi.
Here we are together with you. How lovely. You're gonna be in control of everything.
guess.
The slides.
I
Look,
guess.
I'm gonna start. Look what that is.
All right.
Our names.
Sweet. Thank you.
Yes.
So we've worked together, delight in each other, and my reason for coming to this event is this person. So we're going to invite you to do the thing that we do all the time, which is invent a new way to get something done. And so you're going to participate, prototype, field test a new liberating structure with us and evaluate it in this 20-minute period. And it's called Talking with Pixies. And it turns out that Pixie was my first person who contacted me this morning, and I thought for sure she was spoofing me, that her name is Pixie. But in this case, the Pixies are the little committee in your head, on your shoulder. Sometimes you have two little sprites that just pester you about a challenge you face. So we're going to prototype that or field test it. It's been around a while, but we want you to help us. And then it's sort of an add-on to a repertoire of 33 liberating structures. Each one does a particular thing. They're being used extensively in Hamburg, of all places, as I'm looking over in this in the Agile community. And let's keep going.
There's the original repertoire.
Yeah, original
which
repertoire.
Which is 33 methods.
Yeah.
But what we're doing with liberating structures is we're really co-creating an emerging repertoire, right? So there were 33. If you go on the website, if you look in the book, there are 33 methods, and there are emerging 20 to 30 more at this point. So you're going to get a little taste of what those emerging kind of methods are as we go forward.
So it's all Creative Commons material. There's no black box. Nobody has any more right to use them or control them than anyone else. So just the littlest bit about the basis of it, which might be different from the scientific basis for the work, is out of complexity science. So most of what I learned, I was trained as a business person and a bit as a facilitator, that you gain from control. And Douglas's name of control the room, no, that's exactly what I'm trying to unlearn. So this is suggesting that you can gain quite a bit from what might feel like disorder or distributing control. And most of the way we think and what we do, we're learning how to distribute control. So my image here is a fitness landscape rather than Newton's clockworks, all right? So just one more level down. On conventional science, conventional Newtonian clockwork, you break things into smaller and smaller and smaller pieces to manage things. Here, we are looking at how relationships, so Priya, relationships, not parts, are what's important. So Priya did all the carrying of the water and the chopping of wood for us. It's about relationships. And when you're looking at how things form out of nothing or how new things emerge, that comes out of changing the pattern of relating, changing your pattern of relationships. And so if you look on the left side here are all the conventional ways that if you take that, you gain from control. Those are all the things you do in your organization. You define roles, you simplify. The ones we're really going to focus on in our little prototype is you manage conflict. Here we're really looking at paradox. These Pixies are going to draw out some of the deepest paradoxes that you face. In conventional way, we usually get a strategy or have an idea and stay the course. In fact, here we're looking for an emergent direction, something that pops into view, a surprise that's so powerful you cannot resist it. So on your table, are you going to do this or am I?
You do it.
Okay.
You have stuff on your table.
All right. And the thing on your table we'll use after an experience that mostly Anna's going to lead an experience called Talking with Pixies. And the only thing I want to say about it is it's kind of we called this radical departures because we're suggesting that in the next 15 minutes, you will identify a belief or an assumption that you're holding that limits your progress. And we'll just see if that's possible. It's not a typical thing that people say something can do. All right.
Cool.
Oh, and I can do this.
You're going to do the advancing.
You give me a signal.
Yeah, I'll just look at you heavily and pause.
I love that.
Okay, so we're going to do Talking with Pixies, which I am going to be full disclosure, full transparency. I run this differently than Keith does, and we're going to run it the way that Keith runs it today because we want to be able to make sure that you can evaluate it based on this way of running it, right? So it's lots of experimentation, but we're going to run it in a particular way. So the basis of this is this idea that we make a decision to pivot or to change, and then we just don't, right? So we might espouse that we want to do a thing, but we don't make progress on it. So we're going to try and work with that. So by yourself, you're just going to take about a minute on this. You're going to think about a goal or a pivot that you find yourself saying that you want to do or thinking that you want to do, and it doesn't seem like you're moving toward it, right? So you're going to go through each of these items on your own pretty fast because, a minute isn't very long, and you're just going to respond. So what is this worthy yet unrealized goal or pivot? What's great about not doing that thing? What are the competing commitments to going all in on this thing that you say that you want? What would people say about you if you didn't act on that goal? But then also, what would people say about you if you went all in on that thing? So we're going to give you a little time right now. Jot it down as quickly as you can. Just a heads up, you're going to need to share this information if you are a special person in a group. So be thinking in those terms. Okay, so a little preview for what's about to come next. And Keith, I'm calling on you to layer in, right? Okay, you are going to get into a group of 3. As you get into the group of 3, you are going to make a decision about who is going to get pixified. So who's going to get some help making progress? Who's going to get some extra support? 2 other people are going to occupy roles. So one of them is going to be the provocateur. They're going to hold the perspective of radical change. They're going to advocate for radical change. The other person is going to be the preservationist. And they're going to really advocate that you stay with those current commitments. You really hold on to those. Then we're going to walk you through a series of steps where you occupy those roles in different ways, and that's all I'm going to say. So for now, what we're going to invite you to do is find a group of 3. You're going to be one of 3. Please feel free to stand if that feels good, and figure out who's going to get pixified and who's going to be the 2 pixies.
All right.
That was a bell. That's our signal. That's our signal. Okay, we're going to give you more information now. There was some looks of good confusion and bad confusion. So we're going to see what we can do to tell you what's happening.
So if you're not in a group, you can observe this, but I recommend you get in a group and just make some of these decisions a little faster. Is anybody looking for a group? If you raise your hand, I just want to be sure we don't lose anybody that wants to be in one. All right? Okay, you've got a group back there. Sweet. So the role, as soon as you get clear, does everybody have one person that has invited help? If you haven't yet, just look at somebody and go, it's you.
Just be like, I want this.
All right.
I want this. This is mine.
Please
help me. Claim it.
Doesn't have to be a big thing, but you actually want help. So for the other 2, I want you to get clear. So in a minute, the person who wants help, I'm going to invite the other 2 people to position themselves by one of their ears, or on either side of the person, ready to whisper into the ear. All right?
Keith, don't they need to get clear? They're going to get clear about it. Okay.
I'll do it. Okay. So are you in a physical arrangement that you can whisper into your person's... Okay, this is...
In the person who's getting help. The person who's
All right,
getting help
nice.
should be in the middle, just to be real clear. Be in the middle if you're getting the help.
Okay. I said you could gain from messiness, so here we go. So a person is in the middle, and the two pixies are on either side. And one of you, you're going to re-ask the person a little bit about what they wrote on their interview, and you're basically redoing these 5 questions briefly with them. And they're going to look at you back and forth. You're going to ask them some questions, and then we're going to ding the bells again. And you're going to be their pixies, right? But for right now, just get interviewed. Help your two people understand the worthy yet unrealized goal, right? The thing you've decided to do, but you haven't done. All right, so talk about that. 2 minutes. Yeah, I know. All right. Okay, so one thing about liberating structures, everything happens in fast iterative cycles. So you've learned enough to take the next step. So for this particular activity, the person who's asked for help, I would like you to look forward and pixies be on either side close to the person's ears, as close as is comfortable. All right? And here's what a pixie does. A pixie is helping you look through the funhouse mirror, and they chatter. They're just very insistent about their point of view. So if you're the provocateur, you're saying, you know, what? Come on, you learned something about why they want it, right? It's a worthy goal. So you emphasize that. What could be gained if you just went for it? On the other side, again, whispering, but it's a preservationist. All the commitments you've made to all the people and all the things that are important to you, you should maintain them. Don't go off in this unproven direction. For God's sake, what are you thinking? But deliver it with little whispery pixie-ish things. Okay, and we're going to time this very carefully, because a person can only take a simulated committee in their head for 45 seconds or less. I'm honest, I'm worried about you. I am. I'm protecting you. So it may be less than 45 seconds. We're going to look in the room and see how it's going. You talk at the same time as pixies, right? Both pixies. Start, ready, set, go. Sweet. Okay.
Woo! Ooh, you're applauding each other. What? That is adorable. That is adorable.
Okay.
Come on.
So a couple things we want to know. Who wasn't able to take the full 45? Yeah.
We saw some explosive faces.
Broke
Yeah.
down right away. So, because we're getting at something, why are you laughing? Why did it tingle? Did you get a tingle? Yeah. I did. And I'm not being pixified. The whole room, but individually and together, we just got a tingle. So I think that what we're trying to evaluate, and we want you to help us evaluate, is did you just get at some assumptions and beliefs that really do limit you? And maybe you got a rearranged sense of what those are, and possibly you can shift. And we're not making a judgment about preserve or kick out the jams, or do the radical thing. We just think that we're getting after something here about you and this thing that's worthy, yet you have not been able to move forward toward it. Right? Did that just happen? That's what So one more thing here. Timing, I don't know if there's a dispensation from Douglas or not. We do 2 forms of the pixifying. So if the 2 pixies could get next to just one of the ears, and now you're going to talk to each other from one point of view. So let's just do the radical change one for a second. So get on one side of the person who's asking for help, and I'd like you to go after, again, as Pixies, but you're talking to each other, and the person that's getting help, look forward. Don't look in their eyes or you'll stop them. And two Pixies, talk about all the reasons, all the things that would be gained if you just went for it, okay? If you just went for it. And I'm going to give you 1 minute for that, and work together to help. Now you're both doing the same thing. And we'll just do the one. And yeah. All right. So I know that's a little short. So together, one of the things we believe is the tools of production should be, and the debriefing of the tools, everything should be distributed to people. So I'd like in your group of 3, what just happened? Just talk for the next 30 seconds, like what just happened? Please.
Dynamic incompleteness. Dynamic incompleteness. Okay, so you have evaluation forms on your table. If you feel like contributing to the emerging repertoire in a way that you haven't already, which just doing this contributes, so please know that we appreciate that. Fill it out. Let us know what you think. And other than that, we hope to see you doing liberating structures out in the world. Thanks.